Welcome back to Headlines. I'm Wes Austin, and these are today's top stories. First up, Howard Stern announced that his SiriusXM show is sticking around by pranking his listeners. Howard Stern is still shocking America, mainly by proving he's still alive. Then, the Supreme Court handed President Trump another win, clearing the way for immigration raids in Los Angeles. Hollywood hasn't been this nervous since Netflix cut its password sharing. Next, Bill Maher turned on RFK Jr., calling him nutty after the CDC shakeup. Maher thinks that clearing out the CDC was crazy. Yeah, because nothing says stable leadership like keeping the people who thought wiping down your Amazon boxes was science. And finally, West Point canceled its award ceremony for Tom Hanks. They looked at his resume and said, yeah, we don't give medals for Forrest Gump impressions on Saturday Night Live. And then on to the comment section. We have some comments on Judge Boasberg asking what the DOJ and Pam Bondi are trying to do about him. And then on the segment that we did about Kamala Harris getting security from the LAPD, someone asked who approved that. Okay, let's dive in. Amid rumors that Howard Stern might not come back, he staged a fake opening to his show Monday morning where Andy Cohen pretended that Stern was gone and Cohen was taking over the show.
I know that you're expecting a big announcement from Howard, and this is actually not how things were meant to go. There's been a lot of talk about what's going to happen with Howard. Is he fired? I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, except that he's not here, and I am. Howard and the executive team at Sirius felt that it was best to kind of part ways now.
Later, Stern finally came on the air and said that the whole thing was a joke and that he was staying on SiriusXM. Howard Stern used to push the boundaries of radio. Now the only boundary he's pushing is the patience of his last 3 listeners. On Monday, the U.S. Supreme Court gave President Trump another huge win by clearing the way for large-scale immigration operations in Los Angeles. The court overturned a lower court's restraining order by a Biden-appointed judge that had blocked federal agents from detaining individuals based solely on race, language, occupation, or location. Agents were told they couldn't use race, language, or location. What's left? Excuse me, sir, I noticed that your aura seemed a little undocumented. So basically, the Biden judge's order was, ICE, you can do your jobs, but you just can't stop anyone who's from another country. Beverly Hills is about to experience its first labor shortage. They might have to actually learn how to use a vacuum cleaner. Following RFK Jr.'s Senate hearing and his firing of the CDC director, Bill Maher called him nutty and said that he's got to go, despite previously supporting him. Here's the clip.
I personally find this very disappointing because I am the person who was sympathetic to what he was trying to do. I said, finally, we have a guy in there who cares about this stuff, but he's also just nutty. Okay, this needed a house cleaning in the CDC, but to fire all 17 of the top people? Now you don't have that voice in there at all? You just have your voice? It's just, he's got to go.
Maher's furious that RFK Jr. cleaned house at the CDC. That's like being mad that someone finally changed the sheets at the Motel 6. West Point has withdrawn their invitation to actor Tom Hanks to receive the Sylvanus Thayer Award, which recognizes an outstanding citizen, and they're canceling the entire ceremony. Turns out the only outstanding citizen that Tom Hanks ever played was in a movie, and even that was make-believe. And on Saturday Night Live, Tom Hanks has been portraying supporters of President Trump as dumb and racist.
Oh, well, thank you. Hey, now speaking of church, can I say something? If more folks went to church, we wouldn't be in this mess we're in now.
West Point wanted Tom Hanks to inspire cadets. Right, because nothing says combat ready like a device from a guy whose biggest battle was against Wilson the volleyball. And now on to the comment section. So the first comment we have is on the segment that we did about Tim Walz, where he was fantasizing about President Trump's demise. Walz, the sicko. Anyway, here, this comment is from Tom Donsum. He will be first to go. Septic shock from his tampon. Nice. Okay, and then on to the segment that we did about the Wisconsin governor who was trying to change the term father to other parent and mother to inseminated person or something. Anyway, that guy's a wacko. So this is a comment we had from Joan C9J9B. Hallmark has called an emergency meeting on how to handle Mother's Day and Father's Day 2025. They're probably just going to say, we should have generic cards. It's just Person's Day, and then we won't offend anyone. Or maybe we could do inseminated persons and then the inseminator person. That sounds a little gross. I'm sorry. It sounded kind of like the Terminator, so I thought it might sound fun, and then when I said it out loud, it sounded gross. Okay, this is from Tom Mui, 4524. Under the Wisconsin's governor's plan on family relationships, please help us understand. In Wisconsin, if his supporters get a divorce, does he still recognize them as brother and sister or something else? A brother and sister is something else. Or he could be recognizing them as cousins, maybe, I don't know. Second cousins? Yeah, I hope that thing the governor's trying to do doesn't pass. And by the way, I know there are a lot of good people in Wisconsin because I've received DMs and messages from them who say that their governor's wacko. So I know there are a lot of good people there who haven't married their cousins. But as far as the governor's supporters, I think they did. Okay, on to the segment that we did about the California professor who allegedly threw a tear gas canister at ICE agents. So this is from, we had actually a number of comments that commented on how he looks like the crazy professor on Independence Day. This is from Deborah Conley, 9276. That Cali professor looks like the scientist on Independence Day. And then this one from Maxwell, Crazy Cat, 9204. That Cal State professor reminds me of the scientist character of the movie Independence Day. So I thought let's put up the pictures of these two together to just see how close this guy actually looks to Brent Spiner in Independence Day, his character. So here's the professor from California, and here is the scientist guy in Independence Day. Would you look at how close they are? I mean, the hair, the glasses, the facial hair, they're pretty close. And I don't like to say they're close because I am a Trekkie and I do like Brent Spiner as Commander Data, so it bothers me to say he looks kind of like that. But anyway, okay, we've been talking a lot about Judge Boasberg on the last several shows. The guy with Trump derangement syndrome is clearly out to get Trump wherever he can. So this question is from Donna Lay 222. Why isn't Bondi stopping this? So I thought let's at least mention what the DOJ has done because they have tried to do something. This is from the New York Post talking about how the DOJ had filed a misconduct complaint against Judge James Boasberg. Okay, did anybody notice that that's not actually Boasberg? That's Lurch. But he looks so similar that I bet a bunch of you it didn't even cross your mind that wasn't a picture of him. So here's the real graphic from the Post. The only difference between the two is this one's color. That's the only difference I could tell. But so this one does talk about how the DOJ had filed a misconduct complaint against Boasberg over improper comments about Trump, about how he's going to undermine the integrity of the judiciary. That's the complaint talking about Boasberg. But specifically what had happened, why that complaint was filed, was that they were at some judicial conference, and this is from the complaint, but it said that Boasberg was trying to improperly influence Chief Justice Roberts and about 24 other federal judges because Boasberg at one point expressed his belief that the Trump administration would disregard rulings of federal courts and trigger a constitutional crisis. Boasberg said this out loud in front of Chief Justice Roberts and 24 judges. So that complaint was filed. And I really hope that they at least get this guy to recuse himself. He clearly has Trump derangement syndrome, and he shouldn't be anywhere near any cases where Trump or the White House or administration is involved at all. But so Pam Bondi has tried to do something, but as we've mentioned earlier, the only way to get rid of Boasberg is through impeachment. That's just not going to happen until we have more votes in the Senate, and that's not anywhere near happening. So, okay, and then on this segment that we did about Kamala Harris getting security from the LAPD and the CHP, we did have this question from JFDCA. Who did you go to get this approved? Gavin, Bass? So, and I did see that most people are thinking Kamala Harris requested the extra security protection from someone, but I didn't see anyone say definitively, we know that Kamala asked for that. People were just surmising that's what happened. But from this article in the Los Angeles Times, it does confirm that both Bass and Newsom approved it. So here's one snippet. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass had directed the LAPD to provide the security team to assist the CHP. So I think Bass had to approve the LAPD part of that. But then Newsom, he's the one who had to approve the CHP part in this other snippet. Newsom, who is required to sign off on CHP protection. So both of them actually had approved that protection to be happening. But I read this morning that they had stopped doing that. I think too many people were ticked off when they heard that taxpayer dollars were going to pay for security protection for Kamala Harris. And there was such an uprising from everyone that they had stopped providing protection for her. And the last I heard that she was going to get her own private security. So, which she needs to do. That's, of course, what should be happening. Anyway, so that is kind of what happened on the Kamala Harris LAPD security thing. Thanks for watching Headlines. I'm Wes Austin. Good night.